Hey everybody, welcome back, and to those who are new, uh, welcome to you too. Hope you are pretty much having a good day. For me right now it's Sunday, the 22nd. Oh no, now it's Monday, the 23rd of December. So I'm just pretty much making this video before I actually go to sleep. Definitely had my day's worth at church on Sunday, and just as I mentioned in my first journal, I mentioned that I was going to talk about um, on ARM, which I've already done in journal number one, as well as my experience in Ross and also my experience in church. So, because this is a video that's kind of like based on an opportunity, since I'm wearing my well, since I'm wearing my uniform right here, thought I might as well just talk about my experience in church. So, here's a little backstory. Um, I am coming from Christ Embassy, Christ Embassy Umhlanga to be specific. It's pretty much like about 10-minute drive from Durban as a city, and I pretty much do fellowship there every Thursday and Sunday. But more importantly, I have a particular role in the church. That is, that I'm part of. You guessed it. Thanks to the skills as well as producing a video like this, I am part of the technical team for Umhlanga. So the Christ Embassy Umhlanga Church, I pretty much started fellowshipping there in 20 at the end of 2022, and I got into the role of doing technical display. So from showcasing lyrics to scriptures that the pastor would call out, announcements, promotional videos, all that kind of stuff. That has pretty much been my role from 2023 until now. So it has been quite uh, a very I will not say interesting journey, but a very fulfilling journey because um, I have actually done technical before or technical display before. Basically, when my dad was still around preaching in South Africa before he moved to Reunion Island, he had a church in Queensborough, and during my time, I think I was like 11 or 12. My dad pretty much assigned me to do technical display and showing lyrics for the songs or scriptures that my dad would pretty much say. So I've pretty much been doing this for, I think, if I had to say 12, then yeah, I've pretty much been doing this for 14 years now, in and out basically. There are definitely gaps within my years that I have not been attending a particular Christ Embassy church for that matter, um, because most of the work, particularly the time when my dad had to go to Reunion Island, I had to help with the streaming basically with my other brothers and sisters there. So that's pretty much like my background. And I'm just kind of thinking I should actually put that in my CV or in my resume, um, because this falls under the skills of production. But anyway, that's not the topic of today. The main thing that I just want to talk about and share my experience with is just pretty much how similar being within an apartment, like the technical department, really is when we're talking about skill availability as well as commitment. Because in my in my so many years actually doing this sort of job as a technical person, Um, you obviously pick up a lot of stuff. You do, especially when you're working in the house of the Lord. When you're doing online streaming to recordings, to editing recordings, to planning and scheduling for the service and all that kind of stuff. Um, there is there is you as you being the technical person in a technical department or in a team basically. You're pretty much the one who have to be liaised the most because you're pretty much controlling both the visuals and the sounds, or the lights and the sounds of the church. And to a lot of people, it's not really that important because once you have your system set up, right, and it starts running on its own, people just tend to forget. Well, they don't really forget, but people just tend to not really realize as much when it comes to normal operations within the church, how important things and operations needs to run in technical, basically. So from your sound system to your lighting to your displays to your internet connection, if we are going to be streaming live from, if we're going to be streaming live or watching a live service from another church in a different zone, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's pretty much my day in and day out operations. And this week um it was it was pretty much like Christmas Carol week, and I also had Unending Praise. A little more on that in like a future video, but basically, just either driving around or moving our equipment from the Umhlanga Church branch to the main Durban Central branch, or just liaising with your deaconry and also your pastor in regarding to the scheduling of the different activities or events that are going to be happening in the week. Um, I had to pretty much go through that, and it just pretty much gave me that realization. So the thing is with me is that I pretty much I'm pretty much under a leader, or much rather two leaders for that matter, in the technical department, and I had to be sure, like in any group that has a leader, or in any business, or in any organization or corporate, I have to be sure to report and communicate to my leader. One of my leaders actually needed to take leave, if I can call it that, to visit her family. So my other leader, as well as myself and the rest of those in the technical team that were still around in Umhlanga and have not gone back home, we had to take care of things streaming on from streaming to pretty much doing services. And honestly, it was just amazing, not only for the fact that my own leader, she had to pretty much take on the brunt of the work herself, but more importantly, it's hard when my leader isn't around, but um, it also gets easy when you actually start implementing your own style into it, and you actually take in a little bit more charge into it. And so obviously this is pretty much leadership in and of itself, um, but basically it just pretty much gave me that epiphany as to how much work my leader had to pretty much put in. And it also just gave me the epiphany as well that because of my leader, she puts in a lot of the work. She is basically what I used to be, and that is a one man, or in this case, a one woman army, basically. And a one man army is basically, to me, as I define it, as a person who is multi talented and extremely skilled in a lot of things. Basically, if you are good in one thing and you display or portray a different skill that you're also very good at, like more than two skills, then people will pretty much take notice of you. But more importantly for you, because you don't really have that attitude of like complaining, like you can be able to get things done quietly. You don't complain much. You may object, but you can be able to get things done, and you can be able to get multiple things done by yourself. That is what I consider as a one-man army. But after like this week, and especially today, I just kind of realized that yeah, I'm kind of losing my skill and my ability to manage multiple things by myself, which is natural basically. But more importantly, I kind of realized that the ability to to do multiple things at once can actually be the destructive ability towards leadership, where you can be able to delegate people to do certain activities. And that delegation of the work pretty much had to include teaching people how to do the work right first, then delegating them or assigning them roles as to exactly what they need to do in order for operations to go smoothly. And so with that kind of realization, it just kind of like as a revelation, it just kind of like fall on to me that yeah, no, we're pretty much, even though we are a team, we pretty much are people who are one man or one woman army, one man or one woman army, so to speak, where we are very skilled in a lot of things in technical, either through talent or through training or through learning. We're very, very skilled. But the thing is that as we grow as a team, in technical, there are certain operations like if I am doing displays, then it's expected of me either on a Thursday or Sunday that I have to do displays um, for the church service. If one had to do camera, then that person is expected to do camera. And when you have all of these things, when you have all of these people assigned these roles, and that means that these roles are pretty much being filled out, the rest of them um, or the access or the remaining number of team members that are not assign a role, they pretty much don't really do a lot basically, unless of course the leader, of course, assigns roles to them do some to do some active to do to do some active like task like when streaming a service, we pretty much assign them to like go and check on the stream, either on Facebook, on YouTube, how the sound is, how the quality is, and all that kind of stuff. But that in and of itself, like I had this wonderful conversation with my brother in Durban Central on Sunday. That in and of itself is pretty much pity, like a pity assignment, a, s- um, a petty assignment like, oh, you're not really doing that much, so here's a little small thing to pretty much get yourself busy, basically. But that's not exactly what we're trying to aim as a team, as a department. And so, pretty much for me, every time when I assign like an active role, like I tell someone to actually check on our stream, see how our quality and our sound is, I pretty much do it with the utmost genuine importance, because I know that I'm not actually giving a person an assignment just because I pity them. I give them an assignment because I know that there may be a problem that may occur, and I just need to be sure to be on the know-how on it. That's pretty much how leadership should be able to work. Um, and so with that, it just kind of like made me realize that with all of the people who are assigned in their different roles, right? And then you have a bunch of other people that are not assigned. These people who are not assigned, they're actually getting robbed of the experience. That's just pretty much my view. And why I say that they're getting robbed of the experience is because once you've pretty much assigned people, particularly people who are already very well skilled, well versed in the different technologies that we're using in order to operate in our services, there is pretty much little to no risk that a mistake may happen. Yeah, of course, like I said, little to no risk. Emphasis on little, as in like there may be a mistake that may occur here or there, whether it is maybe in scripture or maybe there's a high or maybe there is pretty much like very loud feedback from speakers and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, sure. Those risks which are pretty much those mistakes, but it just results into little to no risks at all, little to no mistakes, and therefore the service operates smoothly as normal. When you bring in a person who hasn't been assigned for a very long time, and more importantly, put them in a role where they have to do things that are crucial for the operations of the service, that is trouble. We're talking about our congregation complaining. We're talking about our pastor complaining and just like filled with disappointment and like, why are you doing this? But more importantly, you're pretty much disrupting the work of the Lord inside the house of God, basically, in regarding to like dispensing the message to his children in the congregation. And that actually has some ramifications, especially when there's a mistake that persists for so long and has been delayed or procrastinated over time, that when it hits critical mass, then everything just falls apart. Such such things that could be considered as critical mass would be your skillful technical member who needs to leave for who needs to take leave for family or for business trip or whatever. So, for example, if I were to, because I do get to travel a lot and I'm kind of like on the road, if I actually leave, basically, right, then who can be able to who's pretty much skillful enough to take over my place and not to make as many mistakes as I would be making, as I would make, or little mistakes basically that I would make. No one basically, or much rather virtually no one. Yeah, there are people, but if it's one person, at least there's another skillful member that is going to take my place. Now imagine if the entire group of skillful people actually left, who have actually like taken leave or have left for travel or whatever. Who's going to be taking on their roles? Basically nobody. Um, so how does so obviously the solution is train them, give them the experience, and then have them do your role basically. Obviously that is the solution. But how does this fit into ro- robotics um and more importantly being a roboticist? Like I've mentioned in like my like in journal number one, pretty much I am aiming to become a specialized generalist or a generalized specialist, as in I pretty much have all components, or much rather, I pretty much have the entire aspect of how the robot is going to be designed, built, prototyped, deployed, tested, and then product deployed basically from its life cycle. And so with that aspect, with that aspect of like leadership and such, right? Um, you One has to realize that you can never have the perfect team. The team only becomes perfected once you be able to grow them and you allow them to take the hits, to make mistakes, and all that kind of stuff. So as a roboticist, even though I may have a lot of knowledge, I have to still impart that knowledge to specific engineers that may have a specific skill, and I need them to do something like this and that and that in this way and that way and that way in order for this particular component of this robot to work. That's just a very oversimplified example, but let's just go with it. My point is that in order to have a very successful team, but more importantly, to have a very successful group where within that group you have teams that can be able to take over. So then no one particular team, and more importantly, no one particular individual have to be overwhelmed with pressure to do particular kind of things in operations. And we're pretty much getting to that point in Christ Embassy Umhlanga for the technical department where we do need to grow and that we do need to pretty much have more people assigned to more roles basically. But what does that mean? It means people like myself who are already skilled and who have already got experience need to take a step back. But also means that you have to be incredibly patient with the people that you're training. It means that it's going to take in a lot of time. Like we're talking about more than just months. Okay, well, not months, but more than just weeks, like months basically, in order for that one particular person that you're training to be to be just as skillful as you are. But the outcome of it or the return on investment would be that now you have another skillful person, just like myself, who can be able to take on my role in every the case that I am gone. And in every the case where he or she is gone, I can be able to take on his or her role. And then we just pretty much keep on growing, basically. We just pretty much keep on growing to the point where we can even deploy people. To other churches who needs a technical team or technical assistance basically. And so that's what I'm going to do. I want to pretty much create a program where we like train the trainer, but we are pretty much training the um, technical people to become technically skilled as well. So then we don't have to worry about it. The only thing that we need to worry about is when we receive a phone call if something breaks, and then, Lord, um, the billing is gonna have to come through. But yeah, with this program, this actually requires people, more people, much rather. And obviously, I'm going to be starting off with the people that I have around me that are less assigned to specific roles and tasks within operations. Are they going to be making mistakes? Yes. Am I going to get shouted at and blamed at? Of course. But for their improvement and for the work of the Lord in the house of the Lord to continue on operating well without any pressure. This is the task that I need to pretty much take for myself with my technical department team. And so, whoever may be watching or listening, if you are in Durban, all right, in Durban, KwaZulu Natal, South Africa, particularly in Durban, and around Durban, or much rather in eThekwini. So you're either in like Pinetown, or you're either in like Umhlanga or Velito or Hillcrest, Westville, wherever you may be, and you're wanting to look for experience, search up for Christ Embassy Umhlanga. We'll pretty much give you some technical experience that you can be able to get your hands on. But more importantly, if you do come to our church, you best to be sure that you need to have that you need to be committed into doing the work, doing the training, and more importantly, be committed in your relationship with the Lord, because that has incredible effects when you have a very good relationship with the Lord, as well as in prayer as well. But technically wise, we want to grow our technical team. We want to grow. We want to grow. So even though there is no pay, this is still considered experience first and foremost. But more importantly, within our technical team and also within our Church of Umhlanga, we also have people who are very well versed and well connected with other people who can be able to provide opportunities if one may be looking for that. Consider that as like a second, like a consolation prize. But um, but when it comes to the actual work, if you want experience, you're more than welcome to come. And if you want to have a good relationship with the Lord, hey, you're also more than welcome to come. Um, I pretty much open I pretty much open this door to whoever may be watching. Come to Christ Embassy Umhlanga, show us what you can do, and then we'll pretty much give you what you need in order to operate with us, so then you can be able to get the experience in technical and production. All right. So with that being said, that's it for today. That's pretty much my experience in technical. What are the kind of problems that I may have came across, or that was pretty much revealed to me, and more importantly, what's pretty much my way moving forward, and how does this apply to me being a roboticist is exactly how I pretty much explained. In fact, like I said, with leadership, you can be able to apply these certain principles in every other aspect of life, socially, economically, commercially, every basically. Um, but uh, but basically, it's a core component because at the end of the day, you're dealing with people and you're transferring skills, or you're dealing with people who are using their skills, and also you need to transfer skills to new people as well. All right. So with that, guys, thanks so much. You have yourself a very good day, a very good Christmas ahead. Um, and if my video does not come out before the end of 2024, then definitely the next few videos will pretty much will be in 2025. So with that, have a good day and